We are talking larceny allegations. Okay? Larceny. I don't even know how it got to this point, but we got to talk about it because we got to get into this Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3 trailer that just dropped. And we got the tea on when the show will premiere. So let's talk about it. First, let's look at the cast photo. We like. I mean, it's giving vacation vibes. Sometimes the only thing I don't like about these photos is that they be so heavily filtered and photoshopped. These women already look gorgeous. So, I mean, there's not really a lot of work that needs to be done. So it's kind of always like, why so much? But it does give an air of vacation vibes, I suppose. Now, the trailer and the teaser information that's come out indicates that this will premiere on Peacock on March the 23rd. So we don't actually have very long to wait. So that is a Thursday, and it is very likely that we could be getting the first 3 to 4 episodes. The PR press release didn't say all that much about it, and I will put the link down in the description down below so you guys can read it as well. It didn't really give us any information as to whether or not we will get like the first 4 episodes like we have in previous iterations of Girls Trip. I would assume that we may get at least, 2 to 3 episodes that first week, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, let's get into everything that is going on in this good trailer. Okay. Now, I told you about the accusations of larceny. We're going to get into that specifically in just a moment. But let me set the scene for you guys. First of all, I want to kind of go through a few photos. Then we're going to read the season description, and then we're going to sort of give our recap of what we think about it, right? Now, of course, I can't give you guys the trailer on this platform because NBC Universal, Bravo, they have been cracking down on that recently. So we're going to make sure that we walk our way through it. First thing I want to note is that we get a joint confessional from Gizelle and Portia, which was kind of cool because have we ever seen this before? I don't know if we've seen this before. And I would suspect that we might get more of those from some of the rest of the ladies, particularly maybe the Miami ladies. But it's very interesting because you know that Portia and Gizelle have a pretty great relationship from their work on the chat room, Bravo's chat room. Y'all remember that show. What I can tell you is that you are going to get a lot of confrontations between Gizelle and Candiace. Oh, yes, they are going back and forth quite a number of times in this trailer alone. So I would assume that we're going to get more of that. We were also going to get Candiace confronting Portia over allegedly stealing Fallon's man on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, after the season aired, I should say. So we're going to get that. We're also going to get a confrontation between Leah and Portia as well. We're also going to, of course, have our two Salt Lake City ladies going at it about their friendship. Let me tell you something. These be the most interesting cousins I've ever seen, right? I mean, they be fighting like cats and dogs. I digress. We're also going to get the Miami ladies going at it, as you guys can see here as well. So we got a lot of drama that's going to be unfolding. So let's stage dive all the way into the actual press release. So it says, of course, you have the Real Housewives of Potomac, Gizelle Bryant and Candiace Dillard Bassett, Real Housewives of Miami's Alexia and Marisol, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Heather Gay and Whitney Rose, and the Real Housewives of New York, Leah McSweeney, and of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta's Portia Williams. Now, it says, while the first look teases stunning scenery, boat trips, wild animal excursions, and more local wonders, there's also plenty of drama brewing between the Bravo stars. Or as Leah teases in the clip, it's 8 housewives in a foreign country. What could go wrong? Cut to Leah fighting with Portia, who tells the Real Housewives of New York alum, "You don't like me, I don't like you. Leah, bye." And if you guys had seen the trailer from BravoCon, you will know that they kind of go back and forth with that. Bye Leah, bye Portia, bye Leah, bye Portia. So then it says later, Candiace accuses Portia of stealing her former Real Housewives of Atlanta co-star Fallon Gobadia's husband, Simon Gobadia, to whom Portia is now married. She says, "You all became friends, and 2 minutes later, you and her husband was dating." Candiace tells her, "You stole somebody's man." But the accusations don't stop there, because Gizelle questions whether or not Heather Gay knew if Jen Shah was lying when she originally pleaded innocent to federal fraud charges in April of 2021. Jen, of course, would later plead guilty in July of 2022 before going to prison. And so Heather says she either lied to me 5 minutes before she went into the courtroom or she lied to the judge. Interesting. So then apparently Leah gets really, really paranoid when it comes to trusting her castmates. And she wonders, what if one of the women tries to frame me and put some substances from someone and get some substances from someone and puts it in my bag? Girl, like, is it really all that? Are y'all like, it must be, because we got the larceny accusations coming up next. So then Candiace claims that Gizelle is accusing them of larceny before telling her, "You wanted me to go to jail. You was trying to set me up." All right. She also confronts her about something, I think, that had to do with her fight with Monique. And that's going to be very interesting to see how that's brought up as well. Now, it says the trailer concludes with Leah writhing on the floor in pain and crying as people tend to her. And ultimately, the illness lands her in a hospital bed. So we will have to wait and see how that all shakes out. I am interested in this new season. I mean, everything in the news recently has been like, this season has been a little bit overshadowed by the Carolyn and Brandy Glanville drama, but I'm happy to see that we don't have to wait very long to get this coming up. I think this is going to be super exciting, and I can't wait to see all the press that we start to get as this begins its rollout. So let me know if you guys will be watching. Let me know in the chatterization down below. I want to get over to Tami Roman really quickly, because our friends over at the Jasmine brand posted a clip of her doing a radio interview. And in this interview, she was indeed asked about Basketball Wives, of course, because the new season is out. Now, remember, we told you guys that she had reacted to Shamia Morton putting out that information. Well, that trailer, not really, it wasn't really a trailer, but it was like maybe it was a sponsored post or something like that, and it featured Tami in it. And Tami went buck wild. Well, not really buck wild, but she did let Shamia know she didn't appreciate that. So now she is really diving into exactly why she decided to walk away from the show. And honestly, this isn't really new information per se, but I did think it was interesting information. So she was asked what made her decide to leave the show. She says, because it wasn't fun anymore. And she likes to work with people she likes. And she's a workaholic. So she says she loves to work. So when the experience becomes not pleasurable for me, then I got to get on down the highway. And that's really what it was turning into. It was going to work, trying to figure out how not to slap a you know what, and just maintain the things that I was establishing outside of the show. And so I finally felt like it's going to be detrimental to what I'm trying to do for my future if I stay, because it's either going to be, I'm going to either catch a case or I'm going to hit somebody and I'm fired off of some of the things that I really want to do. You know what I mean? So I think we've pretty much known this about Tami Roman at this point, that her heart was, and you could tell her heart really wasn't in the show anymore. And I think that it was probably for the best. But I think one of the reasons why I wanted to touch on this, because I think it really kind of hits on something that's really been like nagging at me personally recently, is that when something no longer serves you, it's usually time to make an exit. And so I think that that's a great message for us as we end this week and think about what things in our lives no longer serve us anymore, and how do we then step outside of this box that people have put us in, and begin to do different things. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that at the end of this video. And with that being said, of course, if there's any new information, any new stories to talk about, I will definitely be back. But otherwise, I will catch you in the next video.